Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Wednesday, September 24th. Holy shit, it is almost October. 12:47 p.m. is the time. The temperature is about 20 degrees Celsius. And it was raining earlier. We are expecting rain a little bit later today, but perhaps for the next hour or two, it'll just be overcast. The audio is working. Video appears to be working. Medano's here. Flick Hunter, Epic Nation HD, Plush Mickey, John Nicholson, Harjot, Alex, Alicia, Toronto's Doo-Wop Music Guy, Boom Productions, Sal Smith, Eileen Dover, I Like to Walk, Mel Bernard, Marge is here, Subash, Zach McNally, and everyone else. Michael McGirdle, thank you so much for tuning in. Hey, Epic Nation HD, member for 29 months, God tier, 29 months of membership. Hope you are doing well, Mr. Strides. Thank you for that. Liam, thank you for 29 months of membership. Holy shit. Jeremy Joseph is here. Andrew, Jesse, Neville, thank you so much for tuning in. I had a little bit of a late start to my day. I had a bit of a scratchy throat and I was debating just skipping the live stream, but I've only got one video in the bank. That'll be tomorrow morning. Hopefully I'll feel a little better tomorrow and get out and make some more content. But here I am. Thanks for tuning in. We're just chilling in front of Dundas West Station, or behind Dundas West Station, however you want to say it. That's crazy. There's a TTC employee sitting down next to me and he's got his radio on. And apparently they're dealing with some dude just lying down on the platform in one of the stations. Mental health services, who needs that? Just turn your city into a free-for-all. Tristram is here. Sal says ragweed season. Yeah, I don't really get allergies. But last night, there was this very, very strong, like burnt wood chip smell coming through my balcony. And I couldn't find any fires, so maybe it was just a neighbor. And I decided to close my balcony door and I turned on the air conditioner, and that might have been a little bit too much. So perhaps that's the culprit. But we're gonna just start going east here. Well, I've walked along Bloor and Roncesvalles recently, so maybe we'll take Dundas over to college and then we'll just figure it out. Yep, Simon's Gordon, there's the infamous The Crossways. They do not have a sterling reputation online. And here's the Draft Building. Site of a failed condo development. Yeah, let's just go south to Dundas and then we'll pop over to towards college and we'll figure it out from there. As I look up at the ugliest building in the city, is it an apartment? Is it a commercial office? Is it retail? Why not all three? Ugly can be. That says a lot considering what's across the street from it. 87 Reacts. So once a week or so, I like to skip posting a video. I normally post videos every morning at 9 a.m. EST. And there's a chat available you can jump in on and participate during those premieres. But today I decided to do this in lieu of posting a video. Greetings, Sebastian. So yes, we are going south down Dundas Street West. One of those quirks of Dundas. It's really just a bunch of smaller streets stitched together. That streetcar is honking. I don't think... there's left turns allowed. Can't really see. There's microprint on those signs, but there's a look at the ugliest damn building you will ever see. It's at the corner of Dundas and Bloor Street West. Auto says south down Dundas. Yes, we are going south down Dundas. And then a few blocks it becomes Roncesvalles, and Dundas veers off to the east. And that'll lead through Little Portugal, but I kind of recently did a live stream last week actually along that stretch of Dundas, so we will not do that on this one. Honk if you're ugly. Brad Palmer's here. Happy Wednesday afternoon to you, Brad. And Marie, if she's there. There's some street art. There's a massive redevelopment in store for this lot. Look at this. Number of buildings are planned, 40 stories. I wonder if the supermarket will stay. If not, if there'll be a new supermarket incorporated. Greetings, Mark D. And Melting Tomato. Kensington Green Cannabis. That used to be a really neat plant shop. Now it's a different kind of plant shop. Chris, happy Wednesday to you. Butcher Boutique. We last came down this way during the Roncesvalles Polish Festival not too long ago. And if you're like me, you're still incredibly salty and bitter after Major League Baseball severely disadvantaged the Blue Jays last night. Bases loaded, they were down 1-0, 2 outs. George Springer rips the ball down the left field line, clearly over the base. The umpire calls it foul, and what would have been at least a tie, if not an outright lead, was wiped out. And then, of course, the pitch 2-3 inches off the plate was called strike 3 on Springer to end the inning. What an absolutely miserable tone that set on the whole game. And the Jays would only go on to score one more, or one at all. Chris, 1 year baby. Happy anniversary, Jotty. Well, it's an interesting anniversary, but thank you, Chris, for 1 year of membership. You can kind of hear my slightly nasally voice wanting to go in and out. Greetings, Edward. This is a really neat stretch of Dundas. There's a cool brewery coming up on the right. Baraka halal food. My dollar shop, everything $1. I have a very hard time believing everything is $1. Yeah, those glasses clearly say $2 on it. Mouth mask and sanitizer available. Mouth mask. Something tells me they put that sign up like 5 years ago. Yeah. You got masks for your mouth. What about my nose? Nope, just the mouth. There's a neat bicycle shop. Mojo Cycles. Dundas West Animal Hospital. There used to be a beer store just up ahead on the right, but those have been dropping like flies. Greetings, Brent. That's Ritchie Avenue. Side door, please. That brewery I talked about, Bandit, that's a really funky new patio setup. It used to be entirely outdoors. Get a close look at it by crossing the street. There's a Curious Cannabis. We're on the west end, or at least west of downtown. And there once stood a beer store. There's Bandit. What a beautiful looking building they have.
Hey, I watch your videos on YouTube.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, cheers. Nice to meet you. Hey, that guy just said, hey, I watch your videos on YouTube. Greetings, Igor. Oh, look at that. These panels close up, so they'll be able to use that in the winter as well. Probably pump some heaters in there. It's a great spot, Bandit Brewery. Greetings, Thomas. Matt Bross is here, haunting live. Got nearly 250 of you so far. And I've been to, I mentioned there was a plant shop earlier that closed down on Dundas West. Well, this place, Promise Supply Plant Shop, is still around. I've been in here back when I was looking for plants. And if you want something that's like really big, it'll fill up a lot of space. They've got all kinds of stuff in there. as some raindrops are leaking from the clouds. Greetings, Chris Mills. You already missed my Blue Jay rant about Springer getting effed royally last night. Eileen Dover says, don't forget to like and subscribe. I like what they say on Ode to Your Vanity. Don't forget to bike and subscribe. That's Howard Park Avenue. That'll lead you to the High Park Loop. Greetings, Howard Charco. It's the Bluebird Bar. Morgan Tristram, $3. No, the supper chats are working. Did someone say they weren't? But thank you, Morgan, for confirming that they do. Cheers to you. So this is east on Dundas Street West. Yeah, Matt, that is true. Overcast skies can lead for excellent lighting. Diaries of Sarika is here. We were in your neck of the woods last live stream. I was able to pick up the item I was looking for from Canada Computers. And I opted to go back and get dinner at home. But from Scarborough all the way at Kennedy, just south just south of Ellesmere to Yonge and Eglinton was $14 via hop. And it took 20 minutes, so I was like, I could take an hour and 15 minutes by bus getting home, or I could order a car for 20 minutes and $14. That was kind of a no-brainer. Parkette, I started a stream off there not too long ago. This guy is really advertising, website design, digital marketing, and app development. You are a jack of all trades. You've got a super chat here. Mothman, $5. Have you ever thought about walking in Scottish cities like Glasgow or Edinburgh or Ireland, perhaps? Yes, I have. I've done England. I do need to plan another Europe trip at some point. And I have relatives in Scotland. My mum was born in Scotland, so I'd like to go there sometime. I'd also like to see Dublin and Belfast. So Ireland and Northern Ireland are certainly places I would like to go to. Thank you, Mothman, for the $5. Marge, $5. Get some hauls for that scratchy throat. Thank you, Marge, for the $5. Yes, we'll get some hauls, but according to the Cheeto in charge, do not get some Tylenol, right? And if you are taking your medical advice from that guy, you are doing something wrong. My friend who's a doctor messaged me saying, "What an idiot." said if you're pregnant, don't take Tylenol. Even though there's a million other forms of acetaminophen you could take, a word he couldn't pronounce. But apparently, not that I know anything about this, but Tylenol can reduce the effects of fevers, which can be greatly beneficial to someone who's pregnant, on top of a host of other benefits. So yeah, just do what your doctor says and ignore senile old men with clear signs of dementia. But thank you, Marge. I don't know why you suggesting Halls triggered that. I in low retrospective says Fisherman's Friend would be my preference, but Halls are much tastier. Oh, Tylenol responded? The way Trump works, I wouldn't be surprised if he told all his buddies to buy a bunch of Advil stock. And then went on that little tirade. There's a look at the rail corridor. No GO trains coming or going, no up express trains coming or going, but that way will lead you up to the airport. You're far more likely to catch a GO train during rush hour. That whole Tylenol speech was a clown show, not a doctor among them. No, Dr. Oz was there, but I don't think he counts. Also, if you're going to be giving medical advice, why don't you defer to an actual doctor or medical expert? Why are you delivering that advice yourself? I'm surprised he didn't start going on about how they're building a ballroom. Bill Chow says, Hop sounds like a better deal than Uber and is faster, especially from Scarberia. Well, I think what Hop is doing is they're just taking a loss on a lot of these rides and subsidizing them just to get people using the app. And then the price will be nudged up to be in line with Lyft and Uber at some point. I really don't know how else they would be doing what they're doing. Coffini says, I just happened to cross that bridge during the only 30 seconds no trains pass. If it were a few hours earlier or about 3 hours later, I would agree, but at this time of day, there's not too many GO trains on that corridor. I guess you'd catch an up express train in either direction somewhat often. Gertej is so happy hockey is back. Visit downtown Mississauga one day again. Yes, Dylan. Can and will do. Alicia Lewis, $5. Get well soon, Johnny. Make sure you get something warm to drink afterward. I might get something warm to drink during the stream. But thank you, Alicia Lewis, for the $5. Cheers to you. Just got a little bit of a scratchy throat. A slight post-nasal drip. I think it was from cranking the air conditioning last night. I don't know. Oh, look at this vintage Corvette. I guess that's old enough to call it vintage now. How could I walk past Sterling and not look up at the chocolate factory? Oops. I did a whole video exploring Sterling and that factory. And besides, Nestle's a big evil corporation. So straight ahead is Dundas, but we've done Dundas somewhat recently, so let's veer left onto College. We'll head through the College portion of Little Portugal. All right, so now we are on College West. There are some raindrops falling down, but it's not too bad. But we got a viewer from Barbados. How can he support that effing trash something? That's all I overheard. I just need to shift my keys into my back pocket. There we go. Soleada is here. So we are at Lansdowne. I'm starting to regret wearing this hoodie. I might take it off. Okay, there's a Papa John's. The Papa John's on Danforth in Greektown shut down about a year ago. Litecoin, buy here. Who's buying Litecoin from an ATM? You're probably getting ripped off to the tune of 10% or so if you're doing that. The only real advantage to that, I guess, is if you're planning on cheating on your taxes and you don't want anyone to have a record of when you bought it, because all the Canadian exchanges will report that. Ooh, I dig that. I don't think I've seen that. Is that new? Neat art over there. Side of that coin laundry. Hey, that's how you take a stop sign.
This is going in there. Yeah, these guys are going in.
Urtesh still needs to try Boston pizza. Can I say nobody needs to try it? It's okay, but you're not really missing out. That mural has been there for years. Shows how much I pay attention. Waste Ute. Those damn Utes. Well, there's a coffee shop, but it's closed. I might be tempted to pop into one. Pick up a nice latte and a snack or something. All I had this morning was my smoothie. Jonas says, I remember when you took a shot at me for owning XRP at 20 cents. I had XRP way back then. It's worth what, 3 something now? Had you have owned Nvidia or Palantir back then, you'd be even happier right now. I don't remember ever shit talking XRP. Unspoken Media says, I just follow Janu Strides to keep informed of what's going on at home. Fuck Trudeau, fuck Carney. Tell me how you really feel. Spike the hike. I'm sure they don't have a Tylenol with a line through it sign in their window. If I got XRP at half a cent like you recommended, when I started this channel, XRP was already way over half a cent. I had it in 2018 when it hit like $5. I was smart enough to get out of it. Maybe it was Johnny Stubble's baby. I see benches. I want to take my hoodie off. Looks like a good spot to do it. Nice quiet day on College. Not a lot of people out. Although this particular stretch is always a bit on the sleepy side, at least until you get to Little Italy. Is that nearby here, Nicholas? Just up here on the left? Oh, I couldn't have had that much. I'm still walking the streets. I made about 10K off my XRP. It's decent. I think I sold it on Binance. That is no longer available in Canada. All right. Of course, as soon as I take my hoodie off and put it in my backpack, I start to feel a little cold. I should avoid the criticism of the Tylenol issue since I was so far off on the mRNA issue. Oh man, we got ourselves a first-class troll here. Making up stories about me saying things about XRP I did say. Now you're saying things about mRNA. All right. Why do I respond to the idiots? Oh well. Hey, Brad Palmer, Devin Sullivan, Torno, Sal Smith. A lot of pizza with Bitcoin back in the day. It was tasty. There was that guy who, sent like 200 of them for a pizza. Bill Chow, the 117th like. So we're in Little Portugal. It's going to be leading into Little Italy, a place where I was on Friday night or Saturday night. I went to Danny's Pizzeria, an awesome spot. I had an arugula salad and a pizza and some adult beverages, and then we went to Revival, where Epic Nation, Euro Nation was holding an event. And Jeff from Travel Fund 69 live streamed it. Liam was there. He streamed part of it as well. Pho Lin, fine Vietnamese cuisine. I bet it is. Totally different vibe out when you're in an area that's not near TMU or UFT on a weekday afternoon, especially after summer. Sal Smith says, sad story of the dude that's trying to find a hard drive at a garbage dump somewhere in Australia. Well, the real sad story is Bitcoin does not live on a hard drive or any physical device. So if he says he threw out his hard drive with Bitcoin on it, that means he didn't know what he was doing in the first place. You should have your private key and or seed phrase backed up if you're going to be storing your own Bitcoin. He did neither. Just kept it all on a drive, so sympathy for him I have not. But it made for a good story, I guess. As we get to Dufferin, there's a well-known mural on the left here. I always make a point of showing that off. Hit triple threes, 333 viewers. Thank you for tuning in this cloudy, overcast Wednesday afternoon. Feel free to say hi to everyone in the chat. I've been to this coffee shop before on a live stream. Oh no, they are not open. Place looks pretty gutted. Hopefully that's not the end of them. It seemed to be more of a bar than a coffee shop. I remember it just being purely a coffee shop back then. Philip says, good afternoon from Burlington. Howard asking, would I be into a short detour? To or from where? I've already got a freezer with your cookies in it. Is anyone keeping up with the ostrich story? I haven't even heard of that. But I did something I don't think I've ever done before. I actually watched Jimmy Kimmel last night. At 11:35, I threw it on the TV. Go to 141 Havelock. What's at 141 Havelock? Caroline's been watching The Girlfriend. It's good. Awesome. Cat75 says, what did I think of his monologue? I thought the second part was what I kind of thought the first part would be. I wish he didn't kind of kiss ABC a little bit, or kiss up to them, suck up to them. But for the most part, I thought it was well done. There is a mirrored treat in the front porch. Oh guys, should we go to Havelock? A mirrored treat. This is gonna throw off my timing if we do this, based on where I want to go after. All right, this is Havelock. Let's see how long it'll take to get there. 2.5 blocks. All right, we'll power walk it, Howard. You're in my bad books if this isn't worth it. Bill Chow says there's another reason I dislike Bitcoin. If you lose or forget your keys, you're out of luck. Moreover, a lot of scams use it. True, but with self-custody, you are not relying on a bank or financial institution. And if you want to rely on one of those, a lot of them are carrying it anyways. Where are we going? This is only 24, Howard. You're killing me. You said we got to go to what? 141. This is not a short detour, sir. I'm going to be out of breath by the time I get to my meeting spot. $45. Oh. There's a neat building. So we are in Dufferin Grove. Coffini says Google Maps shows it's a nice looking duplex. Well, there's a door. Place to do your business. And low retrospective says these are long blocks. Yes, deceptively long. And there's 110. Hopefully we're almost there. These are old and closer to 1.45 million, says Morgan. 141. Is this your handiwork, Howard? Hopefully there's not someone inside going, hey, there's a nut job recording your property. Well, they might have the nicest front yard on the street. There's a glass treat. Is it that in there? All right, I gotta get moving, guys. I am now running late. Thank you, Howard. Okay, I guess we'll make a left and I'll try to get my way back down to college. Restore our public health care. Stop privatization. Open the door. Howard, you're killing me. You should have told me that. It's just a little uncomfortable going up to someone's home with a camera. All right. Is that what we're looking at? There's a candle. Okay, I am... Was that your work, Howard? Super talented if it was. Jason says, watching on your big screen here in Newfoundland. Restore our public health care. Stop privatization. Why am I getting a feeling of deja vu? There's a neat looking car. Well, we are a ways from college, so let's go left here and I'll try to meander my way back to college. Coffini says, cannot see that glass art on Google Maps. Oh, maybe it's pretty new. All right, this is Dundas Street. Steal that car? What, that old Pontiac? Oh, you did that 40 years ago. Holy cow. Hopefully that was a nice blast from the past. Good to see it's still there and relatively well preserved. All right, this is Rusholme, so we're gonna go south here. There's a cute touch. Wow, some of these properties are super nice. They've got like a mini jungle gym type setup in the front there. You do some pull-ups, rope climbing, ladder climbs. This is a gorgeous street. And I don't think I've ever live streamed or recorded on this part of Rushholme before. I know I've done it up near Bloor, a bit further north. But we'll thank Howard for unlocking this. Oh, the sound of my shoelace flapping is driving me nuts. This little plastic thing on the end. Come back for Halloween. Is this a good Halloween neighborhood? Hey, Jenny Krutzkamp, congrats on getting the Blue Jay hat. I just saw your story on IG as I was making my way over. To start this live stream. Awesome stuff, Jenny. They got royally effed last night. Well, they also laid an egg at the same time, but when fair balls are called foul and pitches 3 inches off the plate are called strike 3 and the same at bat, someone's got it in for you. Got a race to would-be Jay's lead. Wow, look at the roof on this house. That's probably like, what, a $40K roof job? Especially if they needed their joists done. Look at that. Ooh, I am glad I took my hoodie off. Back to Little Portugal, Little Italy coming up. Is that a cedar shingle? I do not know. They appeared to be asphalt to me, but what do I know? Crystal says it's criminal what they charge for roofing. Yeah, I know someone who just got quoted at $16,000. They said, sure. Then the roofers got up there and said, we have to redo all your joists too. And that doubled their cost. They stripped all their shingles, told them it's going to cost double. And then threatened to walk off the job. And it's like, good luck finding another roofer that's going to come in and finish this. All right, we made it to Dover Court. There's a really, really old YMCA. That's interesting. Fruit market and vintage clothing. Via Nort restaurant. What is it? Oh, the restaurant main floor, fruit market downstairs. So Little Portugal is one of those neighborhoods that kind of has two vibrant retail stretches. There's Dundas West south of here and College. The Emmett Ray. I think I've been there. Shawarma Moose. There's a Canadian themed shawarma. Do they have moose meat? Krista says if anyone wants a good affordable roofer, you have a contact. Someone's saying, hey, welcome to Little Italy. That's the YMCA you go to every day. You get to go get fit in a heritage building. Ladybug Tavern, food, wine, spirits, beer. Alice Barbers. Last live stream, a guy at a barbershop popped into the stream, offered a free haircut. He didn't message me after. I said, shoot me a DM on Insta. Devin says, moose shawarma sounds amazing. There's the Indian coffee shop. I was gonna stop and get like a coffee and a snack. Let me see if I can still maybe manage to do that. Look at that. That's the Caribbean Catholic Church. Big ass mural on the side. And this looks like an owl runt on the left. And that sounded like a gunshot. It's just a truck. Lullaboo Nursery and Childcare Center. Am I walking towards UFT? I don't know if I'm going to get to UFT, but we are walking in that direction. We are on College going east. Named College after King's College. Black Knight 858. Billiards and karaoke lounge. The hills are on the move. Thank you for the super sticker. The hills are on the move. Cheers to you. Thank you so much. And they are resurfacing this intersection here. Away from all that as we arrive at Ossington. Jones says, hope nobody's caught in the rain. I've got my umbrella on me just in case. Johnny, been following you for years. I'm the reason you chose Toronto and moving to Canada from Texas. I hope you're enjoying Toronto so far. There's a Krispy Kreme that just opened up. There's a Fit 45. Come bust your ass off for 45 minutes. No thanks. I will sit there and huff and puff for 2 or 3 minutes between my sets, thank you, like a normal person. I'm not a friend of cardio mixed with my working out. Jill and the Beanstalk. There's a Boom breakfast restaurant. Tony says, do hit at home instead. I have nothing against where people work out, at home, in a gym. Just that whole get your heart rate up the whole time thing. The Orange Theory or F45 way of doing it, not for me. I do a minute of jump rope before I work out, and that is it. I also walk like 30,000 steps a day, so there's that from a cardio point of view. Trattoria and Pizzeria. Philip says, Jill and the Beanstalk. That's a great store name. Brad Cook says, I'm live. Perfect. Your boss has the day off. Hey, good for you and your boss. There's a library across the street. And we are nearing the spot where I was on Saturday night. There it is. There's Revival. It's in an old church. There's a venue downstairs. So they had a totally different downstairs party. Euro Nation was holding one upstairs in the main room, or on the main stage. It's a pretty awesome venue. Greetings, Fat Tony. Eva says, cooking lunch today because I know you're not doing Uber Eats. No, I'm gonna have lunch after the stream. This place charges you to park. Revival, or the fortunately named Back to Mod Club across the street, and you're coming in by car, you can always just park there. I went to that Shoppers Drug Mart with my friend to get something before we went to Revival, and the guy ran out of the ticket booth saying, hey, you got to pay for parking. To which I replied, no, I don't. Just kept walking. Did you see me drive in there? There's the classic Little Italy College Street mural. Mississaugas of the Credit medicine wheel. Get your super strong stuff. I bet Howard Charco would prefer that place to some of these other cannabis shops. People's Champ Vintage, gone. What a charming neighborhood. Good stuff, Philip. What a totally different neighborhood on a weekday afternoon. Kellen says this just makes me hungry for pizza. Well, we're gonna be walking past an incredible pizza place. And I don't say that lightly. It really, really is effing good. Called Danny's. Try to get a reservation. But if you're a group of 2, they might just be able to accommodate you at the bar or have a table for 2. Pet Uno. Formoca Bubble Tea House. This place had some full-on like music going on. La Cantina. I think that was it. No, it was this place. One of these places had like Latin dancers and music going on. Cute doggo. Tivoli. Hey, there's moving e-bikes. I've got a few of their bikes on my balcony. And ever since they gave me that moving mini folding e-bike, I haven't really had the desire to use my e-scooter. Christos eats McDonald's 3-4 times a month. Plain convenience factor. Nothing wrong with that. I have saved a fortune cutting Uber Eats out for the most part. Just sitting there being hungry going, it's only $25, $30. It's not that bad. And then you realize you could go pick something up yourself for like a third of that. Especially since everyone I order from or every place I order from is in my neighborhood anyways. Greetings, Lee. Thanks for, I said greetings, it looks like you're on your way out. Well, thanks for tuning in. All right, Danny's is just up here on the right. Want to get free advertising on my channel? Just be really good. Speaking of good, Rudy is solid. So they've got 2 places. There's Danny's on the right here. Danny's next door. But if you want some of the best damn pizza in the city, it is hard to go wrong with this place. And they do have a patio set up. Yeah, it's right across from the Royal. And Area Volo, related to Barbelo. Mike Landry, $2. Hey, Johnny and everyone. Mike Landry, number 2. Thank you so much, Mike. Cheers and hello to you, good sir. Trying to get yourself a deal at California Sandwiches? Morgan says, I can't do it any longer. Uber Eats, I will just walk doing it all. Yeah, I went through my Amex bill. And I think I shaved about $200 off my monthly costs just not ordering food. I'm I've also been a little more savvy in terms of ordering places where I have a discount using their app. Yes, I'm talking about Harvey's. So that contributed to it. That's the thing, if you wanted Harvey's per se, if you go to Uber Eats and order it, you're paying above menu price, plus delivery fee, plus bullshit made up service fees, plus you should tip. But if you order it from Harvey's through the app, you get like a discount. So you can literally be paying a quarter of the Uber Eats price. And all you gotta do is get some exercise and go get it. That place looks neat, Utopia. Vintage. Must try strawberry matcha latte, blueberry matcha latte, saffron matcha latte. Hi, can I just get a iced latte? Iced latte to go, please.
Would you like any cream?
No sugar, nothing. Oh, no Amex? Okay. MasterCard? Let me just...
Okay. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Destination Travel Super Chat, $5. Hello, you just reached 6K. Congrats. Thank you, Destination Travels, and congrats on hitting the milestone. AKA Vasily. Just get a sandwich and take to Monarch and enjoy it with a pint there. Matt S., welcome to Silver Tier. Matt S. Thank you, Matt S. Welcome to membership. Thank you for supporting. How much did I pay for that latte? I wasn't paying attention. Attempt of $6.50. That's not bad. It's about par for the course. And we went to, I don't even know if I can read that. Cookies Cafe? Bookies? And this place is supposed to be really good. Jay's Steak Frites. I have to try that sometime. Thank you. Okay. Are they gonna pass the test? Is this a paper straw or a plastic straw? Plastic straw equals instant death to everybody involved. Or a paper straw, sorry. I fucked that one up. It's a paper straw. Ooh. Hey, Lisa's here. Greetings, Lisa. All right. Since I'm not much of a food critic, I give that latte a 10 out of 10. It's exactly what I thought it would be. It's literally just an espresso and milk. But I need to try that Steak Frites restaurant. That says boo paper. Yeah, paper straws are bullshit. I am not a fan. Yes, I am pro-environment, but I am not convinced these are better for the environment. And they're certainly worse for the consumer. BK Cookies says high and low retrospective. How's my fitness ring? It is there. I need to start talking about it because I'm still wearing it. I've used it long enough that all my stats have populated. But am I a ring person? I don't know. It's kind of awkward wearing a ring, picking up stuff and having the ring clank against it. Our music likes paper.
That was really great. Yeah, like we would camp.
Well, straws are excellent for keeping what you're drinking from staining your teeth, but paper straws are excellent for turning into a useless pile of mush 20 minutes after you started drinking. The Mango Maniac doesn't like paper straws either. You're being a little bit kind calling him that. Tylenol Trump. That's still probably the most ridiculous thing any leader has ever done. Do not take Tylenol. Millions of doctors are sitting there going, what? Happy lunch to you, Lisa. I've been to this place before. I'm not saying it was on a date, but I'm not saying that. And they have really good Turkish delights. So we are getting near to downtown. There's the place where I got my coach. I don't know how well we can see inside there, but I kind of like their stuff. Ooh, that's a really nice looking sectional. The back is a little too low for my liking, but if you go to a lot of furniture stores like EQ3 or CB2, a sectional like that will cost you $7-8 grand. From there, it's probably a third of that. Our music prefers Buckley's. Susie's Rise and Shine is so good. My coffee table came from Structube. Yeah, they got a lot of shit during the pandemic for not fulfilling orders taken online, but I think that was a lot of stores like them. There were a lot of supply chain and delivery issues. Hey, Jeff Kennedy upgraded membership to Gold Tier. Can I work my camera with my coffee here? Jeff Kennedy, thank you so much for updating your channel membership. Thank you very much. That was a very nice thing we just witnessed. I didn't set out to record it. Man in need asked for help, and man reached into his pocket and helped a little. Something I used to do a lot more of back when I'd always have loonies and toonies jingling in my pockets. I feel a little bad that I don't really have much in the way of cash or change anymore. What someone needs to do is come up with like a little square reader type thing. I don't know. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of hate for this idea. And you could just tap and give them $1 or $2, and that would load straight on to like a prepaid MasterCard or debit card or something. And then they could go use that to tap pay for something. I don't know, take the friction out of things since we took the change out of our pockets. Did I know some parts of London, UK have a new facial recognition system? Apparently their CCTV is pretty intense in both of those places. Lisa says, I don't know, fix the bigger issues. Well, we should be trying to tackle all issues, big or small. Let the people who have the know-how and the capability to do the small thing I just mentioned do that. And elect people who are actually serious about fixing the bigger issues. You could also get change. Also, yeah, but I would say 20 years ago, most things I would always have a loonie or toonie in my pocket. I've done that. Not this summer, but the summer before, I was just about to record a video. And I popped into the 7-Eleven, not the 7-Eleven, the Shoppers Drug Mart at King and Yonge. And someone asked me if I could get them a cold drink. And I said, sure, I'll get you a bottle of water. And then they said, well, I'd really like a Gatorade. I was feeling kind of generous, and I respected them for being honest, so I picked up a Gatorade. I can't think of too many other times I have done that. But that's a good idea, Lisa. There's the green room. So we started at Dundas Bus Station. We made a little detour to check out a piece of work Howard Charco did 40 years ago. Now we are downtown, Harburg Village, the neighborhood to the north, Kensington Market, the neighborhood to the south. Famous foe. Yeah, the Jays are playing tonight, trying not to get the short end of the stick on the men in blue again. It's only They've been 3 times. They've been royally screwed in the last week. Hey, I don't think you can see that, but I just got 10,000 steps. Is that a rabid weasel or a ferret? I don't know. What's the etiquette on using these big bins here? Oh, there's a city bin up ahead. Our latte will find a home there. Speaking of in need, the Fort York Food Bank. I mentioned this on a previous stream, but if you're like me and you've got a drawer full of those bags you have to buy at the grocery store for 30 cents now because they don't do plastic ones, the food bank will happily take those, from what I've heard. So in addition to bringing in some perishables or non-perishables, you've got a bunch of those bags. There's a place you can bring them where they will be much appreciated. Or if you consider the Lucas catch. Well, I was thinking the Varsho catch, the homer to right, which was Lucas, and then the 2 on Springer were the really egregious ones. We'll just call that the Springer incident. Changed the entire complexion of the game. Instead of being up 2-1 with the next man up and runners in scoring position, they were down 0-1. And the inning was ended. So that was a load of bullshit. All right, Lisa, I'll have to look into that. That's neat. Chris James says they do not take the bags. Someone on Reddit said they do, and there were a bunch of people replying saying that's a great idea. I know they do. Maybe it's dependent on the food bank. There's the look. South Kensington Market looking somewhat lively. Krista says, I don't pay for those bags. I feel like I'm already overpaying. I get stuck in that trap all the time because I'm always out recording. So I always find myself needing to pick up some things from the grocery store on the way home. And then if it's more than I can just carry, I end up buying one of those stupid bags for 33 cents. I've got about 200 of them. And yeah, I know I should just keep one in my backpack, but my backpack now is stuffed. It's just a little tiny hiking backpack. Every once in a while I'm smart enough to bring it with me, but 33 cents is enough to make me go, whatever, I'll just buy it. But that's got to be far more wasteful than the plastic bags. Bingsu and dessert. I am not a fan of bingsu, having lived in Korea. There's TNT Supermarket. Oh, look at that little trailer. The art seems to match what's on the wall. And this place, Fresca, is legendary if you want a slice of pizza. Oh, it smells so good walking by too. But we are getting into U of T territory. So there's a lot of students at these places. This used to be where to go to get computer parts. I remember coming here and buying an AMD Athlon way long ago. I also bought a Duron processor for my dad's computer I was building for Christmas one year here. But across the street there used to be 3 or 4 PC shops. There's one there that does tablet repair and services. And there's Canada Computers, but all the other ones have been killed off. And Canada Computers used to have multiple locations here, but now they've just got the one. There's the Urbane Cyclist, worker-owned co-op bike shop. I purchased a single speed from them before. It's Spadina. There's the financial district off in the distance. We're not going to make the next light cycle. Sian Tower. Jumbo TV says Canada Computers pretty much killed them off. I would say a combination of that and Amazon and being able to get stuff online. Newegg, Amazon were the big ones. It was Canada Computers where I was going to. I ordered something for pickup. And I ordered it from the North York store, and they called me saying they're transferring it to the Kennedy store. I'm like, you can do that? It said it was in stock at your store, and they're like, yeah, that was wrong. And it said they had 3 in stock. So that's why I ended up going to the Scarborough store, because the downtown store also didn't have any in stock, and online said it did. Lisa says I've been going for a while already. Yeah. I had 2:30 plans, but I have changed those. The old Canada Computers burnt down at Augusta. I think I remember that. It's always a neat walk walking down Spadina when U of T is back. Oh, I remember there being a fire in that area. Sal Smith has got schooled when building your new PC from Kingston, the OG shop. The computer that I edit my videos on, I did a build video on my other channel. I think I first built that computer in 2017. And even though every single piece of hardware has changed, the computer still lives on in spirit because it is the same Windows installation. It started off life as Windows 10. I built it with a Ryzen 2400G. Then I upgraded to a 2700 8-core Ryzen. I got an RX 580 8GB graphics card. Then I upgraded to a 2060. Then I had a 5700G in there. Then I upgraded it to Windows 11. Then I got a 3060. And then I switched platforms. I went to AM5 and got a new processor. And I also got a 9070 graphics card. A new RAM, completely different system, but that original Windows installation lives on from 2017. Remember the old days of you'd have to format every year? Well, it is super duper stable. Zero performance issues. It's been through what, 4 or 5 graphics cards, 4 different CPUs, 2 different motherboards. It started off life on an SSD, and then it went to an NVMe drive, and then I transferred it to another NVMe drive that's faster. Lisa says all I hear is nerd, nerd, nerd. Well, whenever you hear someone say Windows is unstable or has performance issues, they are about 10 years behind at least. It is rock solid these days as we look along College. Diva Tequila says, oh wow, good memory there. And some of those parts went off to make my streaming server that I live stream these from. That computer is rocking a the old 2700, not the 5700. I still have that on the sidelines doing nothing. And a 3060. I make it sound like the evolution of a child I erased. Hey man, I think I love my computer more than anything else on this planet. I cheaped out on the power supply a little bit, but it's still a name brand. Case is perfect. Oh, it's a work of art. That says you've had no issues with Windows in at least 6 years. Used to be every couple of months something would happen. Yeah, you'd get like the random blue screen of death, or every once in a while it just wouldn't load at startup and you'd be like, fuck, do I have to reinstall it? Do I have to do a startup recovery? But those days seem to be long gone. Shit just works now. Do I have any videos explaining how my stream setup works? This stream now, or my live streams from home on the Stumbles channel? The ones from home are pretty straightforward. Just OBS. I'm rocking a mirrorless camera for my webcam. Some lighting and a green screen. I think T-Shots did a video. It might have been a members video where she explains how she streams. And I think she's using a similar setup. I should make that video, I guess. I certainly get bombarded with questions. And she also gets excellent quality. Noisy keyboards drive you crazy? I don't know. When you're typing on a good mechanical keyboard, it is like making love with your fingers to the keys. Maybe if someone else is using it, but I'm quite fond of my mechanical keyboard, even though it's noisy. It sounds like a video I'd enjoy making. You would think that, but just the planning and editing, that kind of video is quite tedious relative to a walking video. A walking video... Sorry? Oh, sorry. I thought that guy was talking to me. He turned around and started saying something. A walking video, all the planning is done up front. Then you just got to go out and make the damn thing. The editing takes 10 minutes. So to the person asking if I was going to go by U of T, we made it. We did, in fact, go by U of T. There's King's College straight ahead. I should make that video. It's something a lot of people want to see. Yeah, maybe. When I made the video of how I edit my walking videos, including the animated map, a few channels just started doing it exactly the way I did it, including their map. So I was like, this wasn't a tutorial. This was just showing you how I do things. Sal Smith says, good number pad. Very satisfied. Erotic keyboard stories a thing? Maybe. Hope you're having a nice walk. Got your umbrella? I do. And there is a very cut off CN Tower, shrouded in fog. Oh, I just got a payment from GitHub on my phone. One sec. That would be actually for my live streaming. I pay for a server, which then sends a signal to another server. It's quite complicated. Let me just see one thing here. We'll get moving in a second. Down. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Maybe. It's also kind of lame at the same time. I think it's better when people put their own unique fingerprint on things. Little child is thinking of switching to a Chromebook. Well, that is drastically reduced functionality, but if it does everything you need, why not? DM says Johnny Stride's longest live stream. I've done longer than this.
That's terrible. That's terrible.
Normally 90 minutes is the trick, but I'm gonna get my battery bank out. We are there. Denmark says it's lame when there's a unique spin. It's much better. I know the feeling as well. It's also a thing of like, if you're gonna do YouTube and if you're gonna learn how to use editing software and that sort of thing, take what you learn from someone else as a jumping off point. But start experimenting and doing things on your own and coming up with your own kind of signature or fingerprint. It's a lot more rewarding. All right, I got my... I almost never have to go into the battery pack on these streams. And when I stream in 4K, like native 4K, this isn't upscaled. I'm streaming in 1440p out of my phone, which might be stupid, because that might use up even more resources than 4K, and then I'm upscaling it for my home computer. That wears the battery down extra fast. One sec. let there be charging. Lisa says, but you're a quick study. Not everyone is. Some people aren't that resourceful. Yeah, but we're not talking about making a sandwich here. There's so much room for creativity. It's like watching one of those Bob Ross videos. Not that I'm comparing myself to Bob Ross and then just doing exactly the thing he was doing. Can I ask what kind of gimbal you use? Yeah, a Insta Flow 2 Pro. I may have got the order wrong on that. All right, I am now tethered with a cable. This is something the other YouTubers are much more used to. Ken walks around just like holding a battery bank in his hand. I use this setup so infrequently. I don't even remember when I last charged my battery bank. Johnny B says, I like sandwiches. But when I stream in native 4K, which was what I was talking about earlier, and I plug in, sometimes, well, not sometimes, every time the battery still drains. My battery bank charges it slower than it uses the power up. So it'll drop slow, but it'll still drop. Gertesh says, where did I get that gimbal from? I'm embarrassed to say I got it from Amazon. Cheers, you'd like to get a gimbal for your phone? You've been using a cheap selfie stick. If you're using streaming software that has stabilization built in, you can get away with that if you're very conscious of keeping your horizon level steady. You don't necessarily need a gimbal, but it certainly does help. Alex says, is my educational background in computers? It is not, but in high school, I built my own computer. Well, I first bought a computer from a very scummy store called MDG. It was a Celeron 300A, which I learned to overclock. That thing was an overclocking beast. And then from there, I started building my own computers. But I don't do it enough that I would say I'm good at it. If you watch my video where I built mine, I'm quite shit at it, but I know how to get it together and get it running. McCalman says, come to QWQ. What is Q? Do you mean WQW, West Queen West? I'm not sure what QWQ is. We are north of there. There's look south, down, University. Hey look, my battery life improves. I was at 15 when I plugged in, now we're at 20. We're gonna get caught up in the middle of the cycle here. Yeah, Lisa, there's plenty of tutorials online. Building your own PC isn't that daunting. But back in the day, the worry was you could bend a CPU pin, which I've done once, but now the pins are on the motherboard. So you could actually end up ruining your motherboard. So that's the part where you have to be the most careful. Computers are not selling due to gaming consoles. PC gaming has undergone like a renaissance. Computer gaming is really strong right now. If anything, it's impacting console sales. when new GPUs drop from NVIDIA or AMD, they sell like hotcakes. And they sell way, way above MSRP. There's clearly tons of demand for that. Lisa says, I fixed a laptop here in the office after watching a YouTube video. Congrats. Speaking of Office, I watched the first episode of The Paper last night. I don't know how I feel about it. I really liked the Ricky Gervais version of The Office the best, but the US one was pretty good up until it got really stupid in the later seasons. And Parks and Rec was really good. But I'm just not feeling the characters in The Paper. Maybe they'll grow on me. It's hard to replace Kevin, Creed, Stanley, Kelly, Ryan. But we'll see if they can get some characters like that. James says, agreed. Switched from Xbox to PC like 5 years ago. Haven't looked back. Ben says, PC is the wall-less garden where no game is stuck on old hardware. It's truly the most consumer-friendly. Yeah, if you want to run a brand new game and you've got old shitty hardware, you can bump it down to like 720p. Turn everything off. Can't do that with a console. If you want to go bleeding edge and get a 5090, you can do that. I actually just sold my PS5. It was sitting under the OLED. I realized what a time goblin it was when I used to play it, so I consciously stopped playing it. Then I just switched to playing on my PC. I realized I like that better. Alex says, Dwight, yeah, there's a character. So we are on College heading towards Bay. I'm not really sure where we're going. Jumbo TV says, the only thing I love about consoles is they use a controller. With how integrated the Xbox is with Windows PC, gaming is king. I have a Windows or an Xbox controller, one of the new ones, but I use a GameSir controller. I actually like better on my PC. Brown saying PS5 is fire. I cannot stand the parallel thumbsticks. I just absolutely hate that design on the controller. It is so unnatural and goofy. You use the right thumbstick more than the buttons, or at least I do for a lot of games. And just having to reach down to use the thumbstick, it's so much easier to hit a button in that area. If they created a PS5 controller with offset sticks, I think that would be a candidate for the GOAT controller. Peter Bradfield, go ruin your motherboard. Modern insult. Peter Bradfield, thank you so much for the witty joke and the super chat. Jumbo TV stopped playing PlayStation when they started charging $110 for PSN Plus. That's also part of it. Hey, look at this pickup. All right, where to go? Where are we going? North up Bay, east on College, south down Bay. Billy T is a keyboard and mouse guy. I am actually not. Even though I'm sitting here advocating for playing on a PC. Metro. Here's a sneak peek at your Thursday flyer. Ben says increased fines for people who do that now. Hey, someone posted a video, I think the biking lawyer did, of like 3 or 4 cops together all riding on the sidewalk. Yeah, they've been blitzing the hell out of cyclists lately. There's a good look. Now let's keep going along College. James says north. We can go north at Yonge, maybe. What's in Devado? Greetings, Eris. Whew. What to do about lunch, eh? I had plans to meet someone and grab some lunch, but I scuttled those. E-bikes are about to get kicked out of the bike lanes too. They often exceed 30 kilometers per hour. You know, I don't disagree with kicking the big heavy e-bikes out of the bike lanes. You know, the ones that look like little Vespa scooters. But the ones that are literally just bikes with a motor on them, those are fine. But it's the big heavy ones that are problematic. They're wide. If they collide with a person or another bike, they do considerably more damage. Those ones definitely should be on the street and not in protected bike lanes. I don't think it has anything to do with if something can ride on the throttle or not. I would just make the distinction entirely weight-based. All right, I gotta mute it for a second. That guy in the scooter was blasting the tunes. So south is Yonge and Dundas. But let's go north here. It's been quite the walk today. There's a pizza. Johnny B says electric motorcycles are not e-bikes. Yeah, like what is that thing? There's no license plate on it. That's an e-bike. It's got like pedals sticking out. I bet that guy hasn't used those pedals once. See, like that's an e-bike that should be allowed in the bike lanes. That's fine. Oh, we got there. Generally, I'll go when the countdown timer has started, but if vehicles are waiting to turn, I won't. Those people just went. I think it's all about being considerate. Hey, that used to be a Second Cup, and now there's a cafe in that spot. Good to see. I often get called out for crossing when the countdown timer has started, but as long as you're not impeding anything and you can get across before it ends, I have no problem doing that. Vasily asking, how do you schedule a stream and then use the same streaming key? I use the same streaming key for everything. I've been using this same streaming key for like 6 months. Should be able to do that. Just use the same streaming key from last time. Well, that's not true. I have a 4K streaming key, a 1440p streaming key, and a 1080p streaming key. I just choose which one I'm going to use before I leave home. Ben says, not to be Johnny Law, but it's ticketable if you begin crossing after the countdown. Yeah, and it would be ridiculously petty of a cop to give you a ticket for that when literally there's probably a dozen traffic violations occurring at that same intersection. There's nothing worse than drivers who point out, you're going with the countdown. It's like, dude, you're not even supposed to be watching that signal. You've got your own signals to watch, and then use your eyes to make sure that it's all clear and you have right of way. And if there's someone in the crossing, you do not have the right of way. If you're driving and paying attention to what the pedestrian crossing is doing or says, you are not driving properly. That is of no consequence to you. Pay attention to your own signals. And there's a view south. Ken with the OLED free burn-in. Prince Stubbs says, Johnny, I watched you build your PC on your second channel and was very impressed. And now to hear you talk about the 5090 made me reach my phone and message you. The 5090 is a power-hungry beast, and most people do not need it. The 5070 Ti or the 5080, if you must go NVIDIA, I think are better. Maybe Jennifer Gallo would have a 5090, who's just saying hi. She certainly has a high-end use case, although I think she's rocking Apple silicone. But greetings, Jennifer Gallo. Alex used to work at the Holiday Inn, which is just south of here and to the east at Carlton. That is, pardon my French, fucking ridiculous. Riding that thing on the sidewalk with a person on the back. Salesman says 2K for a GPU. Yeah, NVIDIA are pretty straight up evil on that one. And the 50 series was just a lazy rehash of the 40 series. They put all their effort into their AI GPUs. Not that AMD isn't guilty of doing the same. They both know where the real money is. But yeah, high-end GPUs used to cost less than a console. Now they're like 5 times the cost of a console. Pretty calm day today, yes. And there is One Bloor West, now towering over One Bloor East. I wonder if it's hit super tall status yet. Greetings, Bill C. Welcome to the channel. Normally we go for about 90 minutes on these live streams, but what the hell? We'll go a little longer today. There's a little smashy right here. Sal Smith says it topped off urban Toronto. There we go. They had a ceremony. Shows what I know. Denmark says the last floor was laid last week. So they're using the crane just to lift a lot of heavy components that can't go up the service elevator on the side, I guess. The interior elevators probably aren't working yet. Yeah, I mentioned on my last stream that I went by it. It replaced a beautiful old building, Stolleries. But, oh, there's something you don't want to see, but I guess if you're going to see that, this is the intersection where that would be. It's a syringe line on the ground. It's the type of thing I want to pick up and just throw into a waste bin, but then part of me says, you have to be some kind of stupid to pick that up without gloves. So sadly, we'll just leave it. But yeah, it's sad that Stolleries wasn't protected and maybe incorporated into the new building. But if you're not going to build a super tall at the corner of Yonge and Bloor, what are we doing, folks? That is exactly the appropriate place for that kind of building. Right above the busiest subway in all of North America, or subway station, or at least in Toronto. There's probably a few in New York that do more traffic. They put in so much work for the glass for the Apple store, but Apple backed out. Yeah, but Apple backed out when that project was in doubt. The previous developer was a tad on the slimy side. Fortunately, the new developer is a lot more reputable who took over the project. But yeah, as much of an Apple hater as I am, I think that would be kind of the perfect spot for a big flagship Apple store. It's kind of disappointing that they won't be the tenant there. Hopefully we don't end up with like a Winners or something. But it's a hell of an opportunity for whatever retailer ends up moving in there. But I totally get why Apple pulled out. The time frame was not at all in line with what they were promised. And who knows what other details weren't there. Denmark says no blame to Apple. The old developer was a piece of work to say the least. There's Goa. That's a Korean hair salon. They moved into where a salon I used to go to at Yonge and Eglinton is, and I go there now. Jennifer Gallus says maybe a Samsung store. That would be really neat, but Samsung pulled out of their Eaton Center location, and they were right at Yonge and Dundas. That was the perfect location for a Samsung store. I think the rent at Yonge and Bloor is going to be so high, no matter who goes in there, it's probably not going to be a profitable location. Maybe with Apple's high margins, they're one of the few that could pull that off. But I doubt a Samsung store would be profitable there, but it would be awesome if they went there, just having a big store with awesome TVs to look at and cool tech to pick up. But again, that store at the Eaton Center didn't make it. Microsoft had a cool store in the Eaton Center, but they pulled out of the retail game. The standalone Apple store in Vancouver is beautiful. Yeah, they've got a really nice store in Chicago and New York. There was one in Bangkok I streamed in that was pretty amazing. Alex says, why do I not like Apple? Ooh, many reasons. The walled garden, killing the headphone jack, killing ports, period, taking a 30% cut on transactions they have virtually nothing to do with. Sal Smith says the surfaces were okay. They're solid products. In Montreal, they're building a new one on St. Catherine Street. But there's one thing Apple does, they make a nice retail store. Any more traveling plans? Stay tuned, Gertej. This summer was a bit muted. I didn't go to Europe like I normally do, but we went to Picton and Quebec City. But I quite enjoyed both of those trips. I'd already been to the Caribbean, Tokyo, and Phuket earlier. So there should be one more place in store outside of Canada before December. And then somewhere overseas in a far-flung location in February or March. Yeah, Jennifer Gallo, they've been rumored to be getting off USB-C for a while. They very reluctantly went on USB-C on their phones. It was the EU who forced them to do that, even though they pushed USB-C on their laptops. But Lightning is a shitty connector. It should have died a long time ago. How was the Acoustic Grill? Steve and Jenny are chill. I went to the Acoustic Grill twice. It was one of the few places I got the feeling that it was tourists and locals. I would recommend going there. It was fun. Picton's a good long weekend kind of town. And if you're into like wineries and Ontario beaches, it is worth it. As we head north up Yonge Street. Oh, look at that, just dangling. Jennifer says they're still using USB-C 2 on the new iPhone Air. I mean, they're charging a premium with yesterday's specs. They probably just didn't want to update their tooling. They've been using USB 2 on their non-pros for a while, which is pathetic. Especially for a company that was pushing the USB-C specs so hard. There's a Toronto icon. Maybe the brass rail could relocate to 1 Bloor West.
Maybe it's stopped raining a bit.
Still going. Yeah.
Oklahoma burgers. Proudly Canadian, established in 2023. We're a Canadian-owned and operated burger spot serving our neighborhood with heart and joy. Single $8.50, double $13. I'm conflicted. Local burger shop, but Why Oklahoma? That's probably true, Vasily. Apple always wants to nudge you up the product stack.
I don't know. I know
They kept 60 hertz screens on the regular iPhones just to push people that are bothered by that up to the pros. They do that with their laptops too. They just make it so enticing to spend a little bit more to get the next one up. And before you know it, you're spending way more than you thought you would. They also create bullshit marketing names for standard products. Hey, this is our Retina screen. This is ProMotion. This actually doesn't mean anything. Our competitors have this too, but we'll give it a stupid name. James Carter says Oklahoma burgers are really good. I don't know how much that tour bus is, Gortej. Yeah, Jennifer, I was thinking about that. If I was to buy, if my iPhone 15 Pro blew up and I needed a new streaming phone, I would probably just buy the 17 over the 17 Pro. I mean, the cameras are good enough. The battery life is a little better. You do get 120 hertz on the screen, finally. I know someone who streams who just bought the 17 Pro. It's also heavy on a gimbal. That's why I bought the smaller size one. All right, maybe we'll just keep going a little bit here. I'm not gonna go all the way up to Yonge and Eglinton, but we can go up to the next stop. The pros are getting scratched easily. Well, wasn't titanium supposed to be the next big thing? Apple's like, yeah, we're done marketing that. We'll go back to aluminum. But I thought titanium was better than aluminum. Philip says this is a long one today. Yeah, truthfully, I normally end my streams around 90 minutes because that's about all I got mentally. Physically, there's plenty of gas in the tank, but mentally I'm kind of like, ugh. Starting to feel a bit exhausted by that point. I don't know how some people do it. But I try to stay on top of the chat and interact with you guys as much as possible. I just find it difficult to be engaging after that time period, but we're hanging on a little bit better today. I could easily stream all day if I had to. It's not a matter of the legs and the feet. I've been talking tech, I'm mentally fine. Diva says, I've enjoyed my computer talk stream today. James says, won't ever complain with a longer stream. What's my longest stream? On foot? Probably over 3 hours. Hello? Bless you. I don't normally say bless you unless someone sneezes or coughs, but he was just so friendly and said it to me, so I'll throw that back. Randy's roti and doubles. Not to be confused with Randy's patties. Get him! Get him! Good job, parking enforcement. And I don't say that sarcastically. Jennifer Gala says, I got the Pixel 10 Pro and I think it's a great size for streaming as well, but the iPhone is still cheaper. Yeah, I think the iPhone's kind of the perfect streaming phone, unfortunately. But for a personal phone, I go Android. Well, at least I'm burning up a good amount of data today. There's a Canadian Tire. Morgan says that's just nice, clean streets kindness. But holy shit, it's 3:11 and all I had this morning was a smoothie and a coffee. And then I had that iced latte. And that says, do I like the Pixel? You have the S24 Ultra, but you're thinking of going Apple 17 Pro? I think the S24 Ultra is probably good for another 2 or 3 years at least. I mean, you still have a premium camera and screen. It's stupidly powerful. The battery should be lasting a long time, and Samsung's going to be keeping it updated. Unless you can get a really good trade-in, or you have like a loved one who could really use it, I would probably just hang on to that. Diva Tequila says, no wonder your live is 2 hours long, no food. I'm hopped up. All right, let's see if you guys can notice. I've just switched over to my left hand. My right hand was getting a bit crampy. Developing a muscle imbalance. But if you are watching, just a friendly reminder to like, subscribe, hit the bell, and all that fun stuff. Don't forget to check out my other channel, Johnny Stumbles, if you're interested as well. And it says you're not happy with the upgrades they did. They messed up a lot of things that were easier to do. And for me, the AI stuff is making you crazy. I don't even notice the AI stuff on my S24 Ultra. Google Assistant is 1,000 times better than Apple Siri. It is not even remotely close. And you've got circle to search. Whoa, I feel like the camera's shaking, bobbing around a bit. Do I use an unlimited data plan to live stream? No, I've got about 260 gigs with Rogers. And another 200 gigs with Bell. And I combine them together. Right now we are rocking 85% Rogers, 15% Bell. So it's just based on whichever signal is the strongest it uses as the primary. I can also hook Freedom Mobile up. I have a Freedom SIM that I get 100 gigs on. But I haven't used that one in a while. I should probably just cancel that and save a little funds each month. Oh, I don't know why I'm stopping here. There's no crossing. Does my stream look a little bit less smooth since I plugged in the battery pack? Because there's just a very gentle tug on the phone. Hopefully the software is smoothing that out. I'm just going to stop here so this fire truck can pull out. Morgan says 400 people here. Who has seen parking enforcement? Canadian comedy, 2003. Man, if people don't want tickets, maybe they should follow the rules. There's a job where you get needlessly harassed. Just people out trying to make a living. They see a car that's parked illegally, they write a ticket. That's their job. Don't take issue with them. Take issue with yourself. And if you think it's unjustified, fight the ticket. I have zero sympathy for people who get parking tickets. And they are not cops. They're literally just people doing a job with limited authority. Vertej says, am I heading to Rosedale Station? We might just be. Yeah, I'm gonna unplug my battery bank. Thank you, battery bank. Johnny Strides has a great voice. Thanks, but it's a bit froggy and nasally today. Rosedale Station or Summerhill Station? Which, I guess we're going to Summerhill Station. Bill C, yeah, shame not just about the speed cameras, but about the premier for wanting to outlaw them. I mean, we do need smarter road design that discourages traveling at high speeds and driving dangerously. That is definitely a thing, especially in school zones.
And that makes me want to check to make sure you're okay.
But there's a very easy way to defeat speed cameras and never get a ticket, and you'll never guess what it is. We're at Roxborough. At the countdown timer, we'll let these vehicles clear out of the intersection. Medano. Oh, I didn't even notice. Thank you, Medano, for the food fund before the Jays game. Hopefully not a pull out your hair Jays game like last night and scream at two of the worst umpires you ever did see, but thank you. I think I just said something in my ear. It freaked me out, but thank you, Medano. Thank you so much. As we look south, parking dudes used to hide in the bushes, call tow trucks, car gone in 60 seconds. Hey man, that's fair game. You knew that risk when you parked illegally. Roots Outpost. Drink special, $6.99. Storyteller Tallboy. Chris Mill says, bring on the robo-umps. And how about just telling the umpires to call anything that's close a fair ball and then just review it. And if it turns out it was foul, you can very easily undo that play. But what happened last night was a clear as day fair ball was called foul, and there's no review mechanism for that, as it was a ball over third base. Had the ump have just called it fair, Boston could have challenged it, or the umpires could have initiated a review, and they could have looked at it. So it is remarkably stupid just how bad that whole situation fucked up the Jays last night. I mean, you shouldn't even be umpiring if you're standing right there and a ball clearly goes over the base. There's a camera angle they didn't show on TV of it that clearly shows the ball well past the base and down the line in fair territory. That just killed the Jays' momentum and cost them the lead. And then, of course, Springer gets rung up on a pitch 2-3 inches off the plate. Sal Smith says Jays are down 5-2 calls. Yes, Lisa, your stream must be way behind as we look south. All right, Bill Chow. Yeah, Randy, that was my point. It was not reviewable, but it absolutely should have been. But also, there should have been a competent umpire standing there in the first place. MLB is biased towards Toronto. They want the Yankees to win the division. No shit. I mean, look at the two blown replay reviews within the past week. The fan interference, but it's a home run. How does that work? Or Dalton Varshaw's clear as day catch that somehow was a trap. Yeah, I'm salty, but you might get a bad call like that against you once a year, if that. And the Jays have had 3 of them within a week during a pivotal playoff stretch. Prepared food, hot meals and sandwiches. Morgan, $5. The Delicate Art of Parking. John, you will laugh the whole movie. Morgan, I'm gonna have to screenshot this. So when I get home and I look through my images, I'll be like, why did I screenshot that? And then I'll see your recommendation. And hopefully I'll be able to find that. Thank you so much for the $5. The Delicate Art of Parking. We'll have to look that one up. But thank you, Morgan. It's a gift to all of you who know Toronto and love the city. Speaking of gifts, there is the, I don't know why, speaking of gifts, but the, hello, friendly viewer. There's the Summerhill LCBO, formerly the North Toronto train station, which a lot of people want to one day serve a Midtown rail line. Your hubby is a Jays fan and you're a Cubs Blackhawks fan, or he's Jays and Leafs. Yeah, I'm normally one to dismiss tinfoil hat wearing conspiracy theorists. But in sports, especially in the playoffs, things usually tend to go the way of the markets that the league prefers. I mean, the NBA is an absolute fucking joke for that. But that Jays Royals series, I think in 2016, was pretty infuriating, and all those bad memories are flooding back. Truck is loud. Way to go, Kawhi and Marc Gasol. It only took a miracle shot from Kawhi Leonard for the Raptors to advance. Is Bo Bichette back? Apparently he's swinging the bat. And Santander is back, but I don't know if they're going to play him. But they're definitely missing Bo Bichette. All right, Jennifer, thanks for tuning in. Avenue. Lisa says 2 hours and 40 minutes. Good job, YouTuber. Well, if we go up to St. Clair, we can make it an even 3 hours maybe. Should we do that? You miss Bregman's at Yonge, south of St. Clair? Should we make this a 3-hour stream? Santander is in the lineup. He's playing tonight. That's a bit of a dice roll. He wasn't looking so hot in his rehab starts. They DFA'd Manoah. Well, at some point, you have to know when to cut bait or fold a bad hand in poker speak. Brad Palmer says it's a 3-hour tour. You know, a lot of comments get flagged on YouTube. And one of the flagged comments was someone calling me an F and this and that, and saying that I probably only stream for 90 minutes because I'm too weak and can't do it. Like, yeah, I usually film 1 or 2 videos before or after my live streams. So I end up walking for like 3-4 hours at a time sometimes. But yeah, you're right, I'm too weak, I can't do it. That's why I only stream for 90 minutes. And I couldn't approve the comment because it had some very unsavory language in it. Because I would have liked to have approved it and just replied to it. If I ever had like a R-rated YouTube channel, going through those flagged comments would be quite hilarious. There's a lot of very inappropriate comments that are a sad reflection on humanity sometimes. Alicia Lewis. 3 months you have been booped by Epic Ninja on Alicia's phone. I do not know what a boop is or why people keep booping me, but all right, that booping somehow brought my whole channel down. Well, thank you, Alicia Lewis. Thank you for the super. I'm sure we lost some viewers there, or for the 3 months of support. As I was saying, I don't know what a boop is. I accidentally minimized my streaming software, which broke the connection. Then I had to bring it back. I had to reconnect to my streaming server. That's what the slight delay was. That's why I pulled up the... Hey, I got a phone number or a phone call here. Let's see what this is all about. Hello?
Have emergency documents. For details, English press 1, Chinese press 2. 你好，紧急局已提醒，你有印则文件通知多次被领取，查询详情，英文按1，中文请按2。
Yes, that is the sign of a legitimate phone call, when you get a pre-recorded message and then they break out the Mandarin. Lisa, $5. Get it together. I didn't say it was going to be a 3-hour continuous stream. You nearly said 3 hours, but thank you, Lisa, for the $5. Cheers to you. But we're just going to head up to St. Clair. Now I don't even know. Can someone tell me how much longer we have to do to get to 3 hours? Because I lost my little on-screen timer that says how long I've been streaming. But one of the shitty things when you answer those scam calls is you're just confirming that, yes, there's a real person at this phone number. So the machine is like, okay, confirmed. So even though you didn't act on it, you still gave them useful data. Closest thing to a sympathy super in a while. I'm gonna outlaw booping. No more booping. But thank you, Alicia Lewis. Don't know what the hell a boop is. Around 10 minutes, around 12 minutes. And aside for taking off my hoodie and the 3 or 4 minutes that it took that girl to make my iced latte, we've been moving the whole time. Scam calls are so rotten, like how? They work enough that it's worth their while to keep doing. Usually there's a very scummy bunch of sleazebags in an overseas call center who, despite their heavy accents, have names like Rick Johnson, who need you to send them gift cards and Bitcoin. Kit Boga and Scammer Payback and Jim Browning, they make excellent scam baiting content. Howard Charco, 2 hours and 50 minutes. Thank you, Howard. Kiki, hey Johnny, lovely to see ya. Greetings, Kiki. A boop is when you lightly touch someone on the nose with your finger. Well, I hope nobody is booping strangers. You come up and do that to the wrong person, and you're gonna get 5 fingers going across your face in the form of a fist, I'm sure. Hey, it's the fairgrounds. BG says, holy shit, Johnny, you'll be live for 3 hours? Hey, I've got a pretty neat video on deck for tomorrow. I almost ran it today. I edited it and uploaded it last night. And I was like, if it's raining really heavily this morning, I'll just upload the video and go live the next day. Stop when I reach roots. I hope you're not saying the roots that used to be at Yonge and Eglinton. And I completely lost my train of thought. This is what happens when you don't eat. I was going to meet someone for lunch like over an hour ago. And I just ended up blowing that off and... Hey! Yonge and St. Clair, you sexy, sexy place. Look what you're getting. Amazing. And there is the single greatest thing Canada has ever imported from our southern neighbors. I can truly not get sick of Chipotle. High quality ingredients, tons of protein, 1 million calories, so it's actually filling, but not the empty calorie kind. Sign me up. Best damn quote unquote fast food there is, outside of the bespoke places like Holy Chuck. I will die on that hill. Thou shalt not speak negatively of Chipotle. Jillian says, you know one rule about phones, don't answer if it's a scam caller. Loblaws head office used to be in the north corner? Yes. When I worked at Loblaws and I just finished university, I applied there. They had a preference for hiring grocery employees. So I was able to get a job or a job interview for a position I wasn't really qualified for. It was kind of heavily dependent on math. And I went there, I did an interview, and I heard nothing for like 3 months. And then they called me for a second interview. And I already got a job at TD. So I was like, oh, too late. But yeah, my first ever interview after university was there. And I interviewed at TD around the same time. But TD gave me the offer like 2 days after I interviewed. This is like, what, 2002? And having only ever worked part-time jobs, seeing that salary written on a piece of paper was pretty damn enticing. So I didn't even think about like the job I interviewed for at PC. I just signed on the dotted line with TD. Also, the TD office was a lot closer to where I lived. Surfer Girl says roots. Did we walk past it? Kiki says, what made me switch careers? I don't know, when you have a BA out of university, you don't really get to choose your career as much as you take whatever job gets offered to you. So that's what got me in insurance. I don't think many people set out to get into insurance, they just kind of end up there. And then you just get sucked into this trap of, oh, now I've got experience. And they're paying me way more than I would get at an entry-level job in another career. So you end up not switching. And the next thing you know, you've spent your whole life doing that. I know several people where that happened to. Nobody graduates university and says, I want to work in insurance. But that's how I ended up there. Then I moved up the ropes at that job. I made myself, or I got up to being a senior underwriter, or a level 3 as TD called it. And then after doing that, it was like, ooh, I just saw a dude's bare ass. Not cool. I moved up to working in commercial. So I did commercial insurance for a year. And that's when I decided to go to Korea. Taught in Korea for a year, came back, got offered a job at Chubb, a big insurer. And as I had that job offer in front of me, another school in Korea contacted me and said, hey, we know someone you used to work with. Would you be interested in working for us? So that's how I ended up going back to Korea. 4 years later, I came back here, went right back to insurance as a broker. Then I got a job at one of the big underwriting offices at First Canadian Place. Did that for 5 years, switched jobs, did that for a year, and then said, fuck this company. And here we are doing YouTube. All right, are we really doing this? Am I really just going all the way up to Yonge and Eglinton? All right, we got to keep the camera off of this guy in front of us. Hopefully he wanders into this park. And hopefully he's got a place to go that'll take care of him. He's walking around in socks and his pants keep drooping all the way down. Let's just kind of keep the camera off of him and power walk past him. Normally I try not to mention these things, but it's literally right in front of us. I'm also keeping the camera and gimbal off to the side so he doesn't see them. And take interest in it. Am I glad I switched careers? I think so. One more minute for the 3-hour mark, says Philip. Well, let's just keep on moving. Is he going the distance? Are you playing the cake song? He's going for speed. He's all alone in a time of need. He's racing and pacing. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, it's a nice gimbal. That guy was looking at me weird. And then when I walked by, he goes, "Oh, it's a nice gimbal." And what is powering today's walk? Well, not powering, but the good old barefoot shoes, the Zeros. At this point, I'm gonna justify this as being a cheap bastard not wanting to spend an extra $3 to take the subway home. Long ago, someone left with the cup. There's a classic song. Greg Hybert says, "I'm still going." Yes. Alex says, "Do you remember the '85 Blue Jays who fell to the Kansas City Royals in dramatic fashion?" Lisa says, "Taking the subway at this point would be silly." Oh, I've got to re-plug in the battery pack. Where I was enjoying having it unplugged for a while. How's my hotspotting phone doing for battery? 29%? I do walks of this length all the time when I string together a video or two in a live stream. I just don't normally do it all in one stream. Hey, Mark D is here. Oh God, would it not be sad if my power bank gave up the ghost? Oh, we got plenty of juice left. What I should have done if I knew I was going to be in this kind of walk forever zone is just done like Olive Line 2 or something. Started at Kipling. That would probably take another hour or maybe 2. I haven't really looked into how long that would take, but I'm guessing that would be like 4 or 5 hours. Hey, we got some leaves starting to change color. So we're gonna get some fall colors videos coming in soon. And I guess we'll get to see the still closed Farm Boy, at least as of yesterday it was. Oh, here's a doggy with a cone. And they're going up to the Beltline Trail, so we won't get a cute, or a, yeah, I guess a cute look, or a close look. Olive DuPont, yeah, Olive DuPont's not that long. That's easily banged out in a stream. That's just between Avenue Road and Dundas Street West. You could just start at Bay Station and then finish at Dundas West Station, or do it in the other direction. But we've been in Midtown ever since we went north of Bloor, technically, but most people don't think of Midtown as really being south of Summer Hill. And it says they're starting to get some in Chicagoland. I think that used to be an Ethan Allen. It's now a sales center. Friend of yours lives on Merton. There's a condo on Merton where one of my friends used to live. Oh, we can't. That one right on the southeast corner over there. A friendly reminder to everyone, if you want to support the channel, like or dislike. Engagement is engagement. Subscribe, hit the bell. I'll probably be live next Friday or Saturday. I don't really know. Smoothie, 3 coffees. Slice of, oh, that part is cut off on my screen. Some kind of bowl. Homemade noodle soup. 2 fresh Kaisers. Greetings, Santa Stack. I'm gonna order a lunch pretty soon, and then I'm just gonna walk to that spot and we'll finish the stream right in front. But if you're just tuning in, we started at Dundas Street West. I went south down towards Roncesvalles, then I went east along Dundas to College, and then we walked College all the way over to Yonge with about a 10-15 minute detour on Havelock Street. I forgot about that.
Johnny Strong.
That's me. Hello.
Michael, sorry, I didn't want to interrupt
No,
you.
we're
See you on YouTube.
awesome.
Watching,
Yeah.
you're fantastic.
We're live right now. Do you want to be on a stream?
No, that's okay. But
All right.
Thank you very much. Keep
Nice to
doing
meet you.
it.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Friendly viewer. How long I've been walking? Apparently just over 3 hours. Late lunch, yeah. I'm gonna pick up some food. Then maybe I'll have a big smoothie after that. Yep, TTC head office on the left. Davisville, there's a mini subway yard there. Very classic looking 60s style office building. I am running up quite the calorie deficit. But hey, this morning I weighed in at 163, which is an accomplishment because I was in like the mid 150s for a while. I've been making a conscious effort to try to put on some pounds. Mostly muscle, not the fat kind, but it's been a very slow, steady process. But days like this, I probably chew up close to 4,000 calories in energy. And these are the days that make it hard to gain weight because I don't really feel like eating that much. Caroline, $10. Finally getting lunch. Yes, I had my morning smoothie around 9:30, believe it or not. Now we're finally getting to lunch, but thank you for the $10. Cheers to you. What do I want for lunch? Do I want... Lisa says eat a sandwich. I feel like I could get some Chipotle or Harvey's. You probably knew those. Let me see, do I have something free at Chipotle? I've got points for a free entree. Redeem. Yes. We will save. Here, we'll bang that out closer. Almost dinner time. Lisa says eat 2 sandwiches. I don't know. Part of me is kind of feeling like an Angus burger again. Yeah, I was supposed to get lunch a few hours ago, but oops. All right, I'm gonna sit down on this third bench coming up and see if I can order this Chipotle for pickup. I've never ordered one for pickup there, but I think I have to do that to cash in my freebie. Sorry for the brief break. I think that couple wanted to sit in this bench, but there's another free bench right next to it. Yeah, that lady, I'm sorry lady, I was clearly here first. Go sit on the bench over there. Don't stand there and bitch about it. I don't know if the microphone picked that up. Chipotle, redeem. How does this work? We got you. We're adding your entree reward. All right. I don't even know what's going on here. Points request. Redeem entree. Yes. Return to... Hey, so it just stole 1,900 points from me. Where did that go? Use free entree. Your bag is empty. Free entree reward applied. One sec, guys. What do I want? Lifestyle bowl. Let's get a lifestyle bowl. Make it my own. We picked the ingredients especially for you. Carne asada, our most tender steak. Okay. Let's put some half white, half brown rice, half black, half pinto beans. Guacamole, fresh tomato salsa. That's fine. Fajita vegetables. That's fine. Let's add the cheese. Add to bag. Name Jonathan H. Oh, I gotta pay $3 for this. That's fine. I'm paying for my... One sec, guys. Sorry about that. Continue payments. This better be at the location I'm going to. 410 quickest. Yes. American Express. Yes. Hold to pay. We're on it. Points are in your future. Chipotle would like to send you notifications. No, don't allow that. There we go. I have ordered. I have ordered some kind of weird lifestyle bowl. So the $3 I was gonna spend on, here I'm gonna unplug this. The $3 I was gonna spend on transit getting has now been spent on guacamole. My lifestyle bowl, whatever the hell that is. Gotta go, Johnny, get your feet on. Thank you, Surfer Girl, for tuning in. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. It's been a bit of a long one. Don't get used to it, eh? I don't know what the hell else is on this lifestyle bowl. But we're getting salsa. I hope it has sour cream on it. We got 9 minutes until it is ready. You hope this lives up to my lifestyle expectations? Hey, man. Free lunch works for me, but thank you, Carolyn, for the super chat to go towards lunch. I realize I literally did the opposite, but thank you for the guacamole. Maybe I'll pick up a donut as a snack at Tim Hortons if there's no lineup. There's probably going to be a lineup because of the time of day. I deserve a little treat.
Yeah, my friend was saying that yesterday. I don't like to say it.
Gongcha Namu. I've been meaning to try this place out, a new Korean restaurant in our area. Nothing beats an apple fritter. I'm a chocolate dip kind of guy. Hey Johnny, be careful to not get caught in the rain. Well, if I do get caught in the rain, I have an umbrella and I'm also very close to where I live. This has been quite the walk though. I was originally going to end at Yonge and Bloor, and then I was like, we'll go to Rosedale, Summer Hill, St. Clair, Davisville. We've just talked our way into going all the way home. French cruller. Growing up, my favorites were chocolate dip. There was a local bakery that made it with like this really rich dark chocolate that was so good. And they would make these sugar twists that were like twice the size of a Tim Hortons sugar twist. And it was just so doughy. And there was so much sugar on it. I'd feel so guilty eating something like that now. I remember being in high school, I was like 120 pounds, 5'11". I could literally eat whatever I wanted, and I was basically a skeleton. Boy, that really changes when you get a little bit older. Global Pet Foods, proudly Canadian. Sal Smith says, give me a donut. That guy's t-shirt said, this is my going out t-shirt on it. 2 milk teas, only $9. Well, in 5 minutes, my Chipotle should be ready. Let me check the app. It could be ready already. Pickup status. Order received. There's Oretta. Ever tried unholy donuts? I have. But my memory is failing me. Glory Hole Donuts went under. There's a name that is designed to make high school kids chuckle, and everyone else roll their eyes. But I think they're relaunching as a different concept, or at least a different name. And the Farm Boy that shut down due to a rodent infestation is just on the right here. Oh, it's open. It looks like it's reopened. There's a video idea if I'm feeling lazy later. Let's go check out the rodent-infested Farm Boy, or formerly. Yesterday I checked Google Maps just to see if it was listed as open, and it was listed as being closed. I see produce on display there. I bet their business is going to be down for a while. A lot of people probably started shifting away using the local metro and Loblaws, and hopefully a lot of the local markets as well. But Farm Boy has an advantage where a lot of their products aren't on the shelves at those other places. You go to their pop aisle and you want some Pepsi or Coke and you're like, what the hell is this? That's the Farm Boy experience. All right. Gotta go get this light. I should have ordered a burrito. What am I doing getting a bowl?
We just need those.
That wrap would have bring in some carb goodness. Oh, welcome local neighborhood, Yonge and Eglinton. No, this stream will not hit 4 hours, but we should be over 3.5 hours soon. Did I respond to the CP24 chick? Not for a while. I think we both made our content on that. Yeah, I was a bit surprised that she made that video of me making the video of her. It's like, all right, at some point I've got to break this cycle. I'll just look like I'm milking this thing. But she's got a pretty entertaining YouTube or TikTok channel. I don't venture into TikTok that often. Speaking of TikTok, a few weeks ago I did a live stream with the Orient Gent. I need to reach out to him and get back in touch. Let's see if anyone... Oh, Shake Shack not yet open. Gets caught in this intersection. It looked like they were about to, but they didn't. All right, it's 4:10. Is my order ready at Chipotle? Ready for pickup. Woohoo! I think we started streaming right at 12:45. It's now 4:10. Yeah, this is one of my top 3 longest live streams. I remember doing a really long one before where I walked north up Yonge from Midtown. I took a bus for a little bit and we went all the way to the IKEA in North York. Mark D, thanks for the long ass walk. Johnny Strides, enjoy your meal. Mark D, thank you so much for tuning in and coming along for part of the adventure, or most of it. Let me just get up here for a sec. Thank you so much, Mark D. And thank you to everyone, mods, who stuck around for a lot of this. It was certainly a long ass stream. Channel members, Patreon supporters, viewers, everyone who sent support. Don't forget to hit the like button or dislike. Subscribe, hit that bell to be notified when I go live next, probably Friday or Saturday. I'm gonna go home, eat my Chipotle, and we're gonna, or at least, I'm gonna pop into the shower because that is definitely on order after this. And go Jays, go. So thank you oh so much, guys. You guys were awesome. Thank you, Howard. That was a neat detour. That detour, Howard, ended up changing the landscape of this entire stream because I ended up changing my plans. And then this happened. So thank you, Howard. It's funny how those things can happen, right? Butterfly effect, one little thing sets off a domino. Chair found me on TikTok. But thanks again, guys. Thank you again, Mark D, mods, and everyone. Do hit that bell to be notified when I go live next. Ever thought of doing a fall live stream in Sunnybrook Park? And then doing a live stream of the once old science? I've done the old science center a few times around that area, but Sunnybrook Park is a neat idea. I've done some videos through there. But thank you again, guys. Video tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. EST. And as always, I will catch you on the next one. Yoink. Psych. Chris Mills. Thank you, Chris Mills, for the super chat. I'm having trouble getting my chat back up. But thank you so much, Chris Mills, for the $5, and go Jays, go.